What's up guys, welcome back to Teddy Cooks, where this week I'm going to be making for you chicken parmesan. Now any good chicken parm starts with a great sauce, so don't even waste your time going to the store and buying jarred stuff. Because I'm going to show you guys my mom's sauce, the sauce that I grew up on, that is honestly my favorite. With that being said, this is a family recipe, so there's no exact measurements, so I'm going to try to give you a good approximation for everything. First you're going to start by dicing a quarter of a large white onion. Try not to make it too big because you don't want to be chewing on big chunks of onion when you're done with the sauce. Next, you're going to want to take 8 large cloves of garlic, crush them down, and chop them very fine. Same thing goes for the garlic. You don't want to make it too big because you don't want big chunks of it later and you don't want it completely incorporated into the sauce. Next, you're going to need 1 can of diced tomatoes, 4 cans of crushed tomatoes, and 4 cans of tomato paste. Now take the world's slowest can opener and open all these up. Alright, almost there. Getting close. Yep, still going. Hey, look at that, it made it. Only 8 cans to go. Now that these are all open, we can start building the base for our sauce. Now with your stove turned off, you're going to want to start by covering the bottom of the pot with olive oil. Swirl around so the entire bottom is covered, then dump in your garlic and onions. Next you're going to want to get out all your seasoning. We have salt, pepper, parsley, oregano, minced onion, bay leaf, basil, crushed red pepper, and garlic powder. First we're going to add our oregano, maybe about a quarter cup's worth, and then about the same amount of parsley, maybe a little less. For minced onion, maybe about 3 to 4 tablespoons, about 1.5 tablespoons of basil. For red pepper, it's all about how much spice you like, so I'm going to go about 2 teaspoons here. If you like a little more spice in your sauce, maybe add 1 or 2 more teaspoons. Then about 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of garlic powder. You're going to want about 2 teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. Now it looks like a lot of seasoning, but this yields a lot of sauce, so don't worry about it. Now you're going to take 2 bay leaves, hold them in your hand, and just smack. This is going to release some of the natural oils inside of the leaves and just enhance the flavor of it. Once everything's in the pot, turn the heat on to a medium-low and stir everything around. Cook this until the garlic and the onions are fragrant. At this point, you're going to add your crushed and diced tomatoes. Then grab a butter knife and scrape out all the tomato paste into the pot, but do not throw out the cans for the tomato paste. We're going to use these cans to measure out our wine. We're going to do 2 cans of red wine and 1 can of water. Stir this around so everything gets incorporated, and then cover and reduce to a simmer. We're going to leave this simmering for the next 5 to 6 hours, coming back every 25 to 30 minutes to stir it. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom and burn it. Now after the sauce is simmered for about 2 hours, you're going to want to sear off some Italian sausage. Once the sausage is browned on both sides, you're going to want to add about 1/4 cup of water to the pan. Cover this and let all the water boil off. Once the water is gone, you should be left with some great fond on the bottom of the pan. Now take the sausage and throw it right into the sauce. Now everything that's left in the pan is great flavor that we don't want to waste. So take a couple spoonfuls of sauce and deglaze the pan with it. Be sure to use the spoon to scrape off any bits that are left behind. In about a minute, the sauce that you put in there should come out to be a rich, dark red that you're going to want to add right back into the pot. Stir that all up, cover it again, and keep it simmering. Now it's time to tackle the chicken part of chicken parm. You're going to want boneless, skinless chicken breasts, which we are then going to butterfly open. Once you've done that, just follow the seam and cut all the way through. As you can see, I've made 2 double layers of plastic wrap because we're going to put our chicken between them and tenderize and flatten them. So now take a meat tenderizer or a heavy bottom frying pan and just pound away. Now we're just trying to get these into a uniform width so that they cook more evenly. Now into a medium bowl, needlessly showboat that you can crack 3 eggs with 1 hand. And whisk them together. In another medium bowl, add about 4 or 5 cups of Italian breadcrumbs, which we are then going to season. Put in about 1 teaspoon of basil, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flake, 2 tablespoons of oregano, and 1 tablespoon of parsley. Mix that all up until it's well incorporated. Now it's time to egg and bread our chicken. Dip the chicken into the egg, take it out, and shake off any excess. Throw that into the breadcrumbs and press the breadcrumbs onto the chicken so that they stick. Now you could try to use the wet hand, dry hand technique, but ending up with some caked on breadcrumbs is inevitable. If you got that reference, good. If you didn't, you're missing out. Now in a high wall frying pan, we're going to heat some canola oil up to 350 degrees and shallow fry these cutlets. Now it goes without saying that 350 degrees is very hot, so don't splash yourself and gently drop the chicken into the oil. After about 3 or 4 minutes, flip the chicken over so both sides get crisp. Also, try not to overcrowd the pan because you don't want to bring the oil temperature down too much and you also don't want to make it difficult to flip the chicken over. After about 6 or 7 minutes of frying, take your meat thermometer, put it in the thickest part of the chicken, and see if it registers 165. When it comes out of the oil, just hit it with a little bit of salt. Once the chicken's all fried, throw it on a baking sheet. Start to layer it with sauce, mozzarella cheese, and more sauce. Throw this in a 350-degree oven and bake until the cheese is melted. Plate it up and now add the parm to your chicken parm. If you're like me and don't have a cheese grater, just take your knife and slice it thin right over top. And I have to say, this dish was absolutely delicious. The chicken was crispy and juicy, the sauce was full-bodied, the cheese was nice and melty and gooey, and you got a really great bite from the Parmesan on top. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really starting to enjoy making these videos for you guys. It's a lot of fun. So if you have anything you want me to cook, please comment it down below, and I'll see you in the next video.